Hi, I'm Sandeep Agarwal. I've been in car accidents. I've been a landlord. I've been a tenant. I've even had to deal with my mortgage lender regarding my home loan. Believe me, not a fun experience. I've lost sleep over it, became very anxious, became very frustrated, and probably lost some hair as a result of it. I've had to call up an insurance company and speak with someone who wasn't listening to my questions, didn't want to answer my questions, and frankly didn't seem to care about my situation. I've called up mortgage lenders where you get on the phone to speak with someone and you're constantly pressing buttons, not getting anywhere. And when you do get somewhere, you tell your story, you tell your situation to the person, and then they transfer you to somebody else and you have to repeat your same story all over again, and you're doing this multiple times. Or even better, they ask for documents, you send them the documents, and then you try to follow up a few days later, and they tell you they didn't get certain documents or all of your documents, and you're having to send it over and over and over again. Frustrating, irritating, annoying. I understand. I've been there. I've dealt with those situations. Not only have I dealt with those situations at a personal level, I've also dealt with them as a lawyer for my clients. And I'd like to talk to you a few minutes about the areas of law that I practice in and that I have expertise in. One of the areas of law that I specialize in is personal injury. Let me talk to you about two individuals I was able to assist with their particular factual situations. The first gentleman was retired, was enjoying his retirement, and had gone to a major hardware store with his wife to buy some patio furniture. While there in the patio section, he had not seen some cables or cords that were strewn across the floor. He tripped and fell on one of those cords and injured himself pretty badly. He hurt his back, hurt both of his knees, hurt his hands, and as a result of which, he was unable to play with his grandchildren for a while. He was unable to go on long walks with his wife. He was unable to exercise, which is something he enjoyed doing on a regular basis. He tried working with the major hardware store to see if they would compensate him for something that really wasn't even his fault, but they wouldn't. So he came to me, told me his situation, and I was able to help him out. He's now feeling much better. He was justly compensated for the injuries that he sustained that were no fault of his own. And he's been able to move on with his life, and I'm glad to say he's enjoying his retirement again. The next gentleman was a gentleman who was employed as a truck driver. He drove one of those big 18-wheelers, and he had just finished a delivery in Southern California and was driving back to his home in Central California. He was on the I-5 going through the Grapevine, stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic. Another 18-wheeler came from behind and, for some unknown reason, rear-ended him. That caused him to hit the truck in front of him. He was pretty severely injured. He was hospitalized. In fact, he was in the hospital for several months. He had some broken bones and some injuries that were pretty serious. He also lost a lot of time from work and was going to lose a lot more time from work as a result of these injuries. These weren't injuries that were going to heal on their own or take care of themselves. These were going to take time. And he came to me for assistance, and we were able to get him just compensation, not only for the injuries he sustained, but for future injuries and future pain that he was going to have to endure as a result of those injuries that, again, he was just stopped in traffic, minding his own business, trying to get home to his family. But now he's been able to move on with his life, and he's feeling better. He's not fully there yet, but he's feeling a whole lot better. We all love our families. Our families are precious to all of us. Another area of law that I practice in is landlord-tenant. I had a situation where a young couple came to me. They were being evicted from their home. They had 2 young children, and they'd lived in a home for a couple of years. They knew they had to leave the home, but they wanted to buy some time. They wanted to lessen the impact of the move to these young children. I was able to help them out with that. They moved out. Their kids were able to move into another safe community, and the impact of the move wasn't as severe as it could have been. In another situation, I helped out a landlord. Now, this landlord was an immigrant. They came to this country in the late 60s and had done very well for themselves. And they wanted to invest a little bit for their upcoming retirement. So they bought an investment property. And when you have an investment property, you need a tenant. And they found a tenant who signed a 1-year lease. Shortly after moving in, the tenant started giving them a lot of headaches. She wanted to break the lease and wanted all of her money back, something we can all agree she's not entitled to. So I talked to the landlord and I asked them what exactly were they looking for. Were they looking to enforce the lease and force her to pay for the entire year that she signed up for? Or were they just looking for the amount of money for the time she spent there and then make her leave the premises and move on with their lives? All they were looking for was the amount of money for the time she spent living there and to just get her to leave. I was able to accomplish that. They've been able to move on with their lives. The American dream for them is still alive and well. They're happy, and they found a new tenant a lot less painful and a lot less troublesome. Another area of law that I specialize in is mortgage litigation. With the recent real estate crisis and many people being underwater on their mortgages, many people are paying more on their mortgages and their notes than what the home is worth. I had a client come in to me not too long ago who lives in his home with his wife, his mother, and their children. It's a home that they've lived in for over 5 years. He's gone through the rigmarole of calling up his lender, submitting documents, doing everything they've told him to do, but they still threatened to foreclose on him. He came to me asking, if not begging, for help, and we've been able to work with the lender to get him a home loan that he can afford and that's fair. He's much happier now, a whole lot less stressed out, and he's again paying on his mortgage, and he's able to live in his home with his family, extended family included, and he's been able to move on with his life. Another situation are 2 sisters, one of whom lives in the home and the other who doesn't, but both of whom grew up in the home. It's a home that they've known for well over 30 years. They too went through the rigmarole of doing everything the lender told them to do. They went through the whole deal about calling up a lender, punching the buttons, of trying to get to somebody, giving them documents that the lender said they never got, and being completely frustrated and completely angry at their institution. They came to me seeking help so that they can stay in a home that they've known for over 30 years. I've been able to work with their lender to get them a home loan that's affordable and fair based on the market value of their property, and they are much happier now, and they've also have been able to move on with their lives. I am really happy to have had this opportunity to tell you about some of the people I have been able to help and how I've been able to help them. If you would like to talk about any of the topics discussed today, please feel free to contact me. You can call me at 866-844-4125. You can email me at sga@sgalawfirm.com, or you can go to my website, www.sgalawfirm.com. I look forward to hearing from you. I'm Sandeep Agarwal. And please take care of yourself.